So welcome, David. We're very happy to have you here today.
Thanks, Manfred.
You're the digital prophet of Oath, probably one of the most interesting jobs in the world. So what is your perspective on the impact of AI on society, but also on communications?
I mean, the truth is AI has been around, it's around us already, and we've been collecting data, and it's been manifest in different industries for many years. I think AI is best when it's contextual. So what I mean by that is the problem today, the misunderstood notion of AI is it's knowledge learning and you can grow your knowledge base over time. I think the most effective way of using AI is to flip it the other way and say, if I have to spend all this time creating the nuances around a story, can that give somebody immediate context if the machine will answer it? And at some point I should probably hand that to the human to fulfill the real process. The other thing that I think is interesting about data is that I don't think there's enough, particularly on apps on the phone, I don't think there's enough brands creating a really unique way of capturing data. You know, we have the standard stuff, name, address, phone, optional stuff. For me, it's like, how can you actually think about capturing data differently and allowing people to think, wow, I wasn't expecting that sort of amazing experience from a little bit of data that I've given you. And then I think we'll end up getting more data. I think 2 years ago, the first time I experienced what I thought was a really interesting piece of AI was Miss Piggy on Facebook Messenger. Okay. Now, if you think about that, firstly, there's an intimacy and there's a conversation with this Muppet, but it was very much in the tone of Miss Piggy, and she was only open for 3 hours a day. So there was an urgency to want to message with her, and it felt like it was alive for that very reason. And it wasn't.
There's a notion that data kills creativity. So is that true from your perspective, or should that not help each other to get better?
Yeah, it doesn't kill it. I mean, here's why. As a creative, the last thing you want is to start with a blank page. I think the best creative stories are solving a problem. We don't want to start with a blank page, we'd rather start with the problem.
We've seen a lot of industries being disrupted by digital in its various formats. So what's from your perspective the next one who is going to be disrupted or has to change fundamentally?
So I think the industry that's definitely under pressure is retail. I think retail is going to have to think about the chain differently, but not just the chain of retail, but what's happened with consumers. Now, people, us, we want personalization, but we also want customization, and that's hard to scale. So how do you keep your margins there? I don't know. You're going to have to think about things like service as a whole nother layer on top. Why? And that's why people are going to have a closer brand affinity with you.
Is the car in the future only the hardware?
I actually think the car is only as smart as the connected network. So the ability for the car to slow down has nothing to do with any of that other than the network it's speaking to. So that's a much more of a macro discussion about what's going on with the connected network and its interconnected connectedness, you know, and its ability to do that.
But who is going to run the system from your perspective? Is it Google and Apple, or is it Mercedes or Volkswagen?
That's a brilliant debate, because at the moment anybody who runs a service outside of autonomy and driving just connect at home. It's not necessarily about it's not about this. It's about what connects this to the glass, to the mouth, to the body, and what connects that is a service.
Talking about the future, and you're getting a lot of insights on what might come as the next possible future. So, what do you wish for your own future?
If I was to be bullish, I would say that, you know, any type of environment that allows you to connect to a universal Wi-Fi, that allows me to rent data. For example, if I had a chip that allowed me to be able to, and I'm not talking, and people are experimenting with this. Google Glass was one of them with lookup data. Voices with little tiny headphones today that speak into a voice. But if I had a piece of technology that allowed me to rent fragments of data, I'm facing an ocean, I look at the beach, it's 30 degrees here, but the water's 18 degrees and there's a rip going that way and there happens to be a shark there. If I could rent those fragments of data, then I can determine whether I want to take the risk of swimming versus not.